So then, let's assume your mortgage is going to be about 1% of that per month for that 30 years. So how much money is that?
4% of 80,000.
$800, right? So $800 a month technically goes towards your monthly payment. But because there's an escrow account for your taxes and insurance, how much are they going to charge you? They're going to charge you 1/12 of what those costs are per year on top of that $800. You follow? But that money is going to go into what? An escrow account. So that when it comes time to pay your taxes, whether it's quarterly, semi-annually, or yearly, they're going to take the money out of that escrow account and they're going to pay it on your behalf. Got it? You understand, Shanae? Come on, don't shake your head yes if you don't really get it. They're taking money, like, put it this way, if they didn't have an escrow account, and you borrow the $80,000, you'd be paying $800 a month, right, for your mortgage. They didn't take out an escrow account. Your taxes are due on January 1st and July 1st. Your taxes are $1,000 a year. On January 1st, how much are you going to pay? Let me back up. Back up. Don't tell her the answer is Therese. The taxes, Shanae, are $1,200 a year, right? And they're due on the 1st of January and the 1st of July. January 1st comes, how much money are you going to pay for taxes? $600, right? $600. And July 1st comes, you're going to do what? Pay the other $600. But when you have an escrow account, what happens is, January, you pay your $800, and assuming they escrow it out for your taxes, how much are you going to pay in taxes that month? Your taxes for the year were $1,200. And every single month, they're taking out money towards your taxes to pay your taxes when they become due. How much are you paying? I try to make it easy by saying $1,200, because there's only 12 months in it. Come on, Matt. $100, right? So your monthly payment would be $900. Got it? It's the $800 principal and interest payment, plus the $100 for the escrow. When July 1 comes, they should have accumulated $600. They're going to take that money and pay your taxes. That's what the escrow account is used for. Banks now are requiring it. Excuse me?
I was going to ask, so if you buy a $100,000 house and get like a typical mortgage, at the very end of 30 years, how much of the total price do you pay twice that much, or how much? I don't
It
know.
depends on what your interest rate is, and you're right. Most of the time when I get to that part of the closing, when I go through all the documents on the last day, there's something called truth in lending. And the truth in lending basically tells you how much you borrowed, how much it's going to cost you to borrow that much money, and usually it's substantially higher.
3 times as much?
I haven't seen 3 times yet, but twice as much is not uncommon. You follow that, Matt? Because you're paying interest and everything else, and the longer you borrow the money, the more interest you're going to end up paying.
So if you find that you have more money than you expected, you can pay off your mortgage faster than you originally thought you would be able to, can you do that and save money?
Absolutely, because you pay less interest.
Is there a rule? So I mean, like, just say like, you know, you have I don't know, someone who's like really wealthy, and they're willing to strike a deal with you, where they'll give you all this money right now, so you can pay off your entire mortgage right away, and you'll pay them back over time, but less than you would have paid the bank because
Interest-wise?
Yeah, right. So you know, so like, are there rules against how quickly you can pay off your mortgage, because then they lose all this money that they could have made?
Well, yes and no. See, there's something called an adjustable rate mortgage, and then there's your straight fixed mortgage. Adjustable rate mortgages are mortgages that they give you a lower interest rate for a period of time, usually 2 to 5 years, right? For the first 2 to 5 years, you may be paying 5%. And then after that, from that point on, you may be paying some adjustable rate of 6, 7, 8, 9, up to a certain amount, maximum, right? After that. Usually when you have an adjustable rate mortgage, the first couple of years, they charge you a penalty for doing what you're talking about, because they didn't get the full benefit of the loan to you. But banks are in the business to make money, so when they loan you money, they're expecting to get that interest. So if they charge you a smaller amount up front, and you try to get out early before you actually start to pay them any sizable amount of money, they charge you a penalty. You understand? But normally, if you get a fixed rate loan, you have decent credit, they don't charge you a penalty coming out early.
So if I have an adjustable mortgage, knowing the model, they don't charge me?
Yeah, just pay it off. Right? And you save all that money in interest. Unless you're going to be like Dan, put all your money in the stock market. And then that's a whole other story that Dan and I are going to talk about later.
Well, you can't do that now, or just refer?
I can. Can I digress just for a second, Sinead? I mean, we only got a couple of minutes.
Why would you want to buy a house as opposed to rental?
Instead of what?
Rental.
Rental.
Why buy a house instead of just renting forever?
It depends. See, and that's a good question, Dan, because sometimes people get seduced into the idea that they're making an investment when they buy their homes. And that's not necessarily the case. Now, I'm digressing a little bit, Sinead. It's kind of like cursing, but I'm not going to say swear words. But when you use the word invest, like Dan likes to use the word stocks and stuff like that, you're taking a risk, right? That you can win or you can lose, right? But your goal or your hopes are that you're going to gain money. And usually when you're investing, it should be discretionary money. It shouldn't be the emergency fund money. It shouldn't be your savings money that you're using to invest, right? This is money that if you lose it, you can't be crying about it, Dan, right?
Yeah.
You lose it, that's what it is, right?